The first time I played, one thing I learned after I was done was that Survivor's actually about stories.
There was so much personal history.
This is narrative warfare.
Survivor is just the best. I mean, it's lasted 25 years and 50 seasons for a reason. But what's crazy is that no one's talking about how it's secretly one of the best storytelling masterclasses on television. I'm a documentary-style videographer and filmmaker, and I've spent years trying to figure out what makes a compelling story. And I'm just surprised that even in my world of film, people aren't really talking about how strong of a blueprint Survivor is for documentary storytelling. So in this video, I want to break down 3 things that Survivor does masterfully from a storytelling perspective, and what other people like me can steal and apply to their own projects.
Welcome to Survivor.
The first thing Survivor does masterfully from a storytelling perspective is build in a sense of stakes.
It is huge. And you know what is just as big? The stakes for each one of you right now.
At the foundation of the show, there are stakes. You could go home at any minute. If you do not win, you will not win the $1 million. That's kind of the blueprint of the show. Also, you could starve. You could get sick out here. You're surviving on an island. Those are stakes that are built into the foundation, the fundamentals of the show. But from a storytelling perspective, we can't look beyond how important those stakes are, because without those stakes, we'd literally just be watching a group of people on vacation having some drama. It would be super boring. At the core of any compelling story is the sense of, why does this matter? What are the consequences? And Survivor does a masterful job of reminding us over and over throughout every aspect of the show, there are real stakes on the line here. In every interview, it seems, characters are reminding us, if this doesn't go the way I want, I could go home tomorrow. If I don't win this challenge, I might go home tomorrow. If I don't stop being an emotional wreck or a social weirdo, I could go home tomorrow. They remind us of the stakes at every turn, and in that there is a state of tension. This tension is what allows us, the viewer, to be bought in. With that tension is uncertainty, and with uncertainty we have a story. This is something I continually try to learn as a storyteller, is where can I lean into stakes and tension and uncertainty, because without it, it's boring. We don't want to just know this happens, then this happens, then this happens. We want to know this happens, therefore this might happen, and then this might happen. It allows space for our imagination to unravel of what might happen. That is such a fun aspect of Survivor as a viewer, is to guess where the story might go, and then to be wrong, and then to be surprised. All of that is possible because at the foundation of Survivor is this sense of stakes. There is something on the line, there are consequences, and that's fundamentally what makes a good story. The next thing Survivor does masterfully is they oscillate between A stories and B stories really well. You know, they have the interviews and then they have what happens at camp. They do this very good oscillation between, here's a very specific thing that's happening, whether interpersonal conflict, stress about a challenge, that might be happening at camp. Then they have an interview that's more of this like broader perspective. Again, it's kind of leaning on stakes. Why does this matter? But instead of why does it matter to the game, they might be adding an element of why does this matter to the character? They might show us the character going through something very specific, but then in the interview, they're talking about how this character was raised or how they grew up or why this kind of matches a pattern with this character's life. And that creates this sense of A story, B story, like specific, broad, very nuanced and specific to the character, a more broad, appealing human emotional story arc. And they do this like weaving between the two, interview, live action, interview, live action. When this oscillation is done well, it creates a really captivating and emotional experience for the viewer. Survivor does such a masterful job of this. It's why you can watch some guy just like go find a coconut because he's thirsty and he finds the coconut. That's literally what's happening on camera. But then they have this interview contextualizing all that he's been through and all these other things. And like this guy finding a coconut can make you cry. And you're so invested in these characters. And like, there's just so many beautiful moments on this show where you don't even realize why, but you're finding yourself emotional and bought in. The third thing that makes Survivor a storytelling masterclass, Jeff Probst. The more I learn about him, the more I respect him. Like, he's not just a TV host. He's not just some actor that shows up. Jeff seemingly is involved in so many different aspects of Survivor, from the brand to the production to the gameplay. He's just a beast. But that aside, when I started to look at him as like a film director on set of a live documentary, like the more my respect for him only grew. When it comes to like a director on set, he embodies all these traits that bring out the best out of the characters around him. He has such a high emotional intelligence where he's able to be in a space and be himself, be very confident and strong and grounded, and hold the kind of like structure of the show. But then he also like very gracefully allows for spontaneity. And then again, he just brings out the best of the people around him. Any director, any storyteller, like their job is to bring out the best of the people around him. And Jeff has this really skillful way of holding space for people's emotions, for making people feel safe and heard and seen, that allows them to want to continue expressing. He might be able to ask like a penetrating question without even having asked a question. He might like say a statement and then kind of just like put it there and see what happens. And those kind of like soft skills as a director are so fun for me to watch. And then bringing it back to the first point, he reinstills a sense of stakes all the time. Jeff is a master at bringing things back to consequence. He can be deep in the emotion of something with someone, but then he'll bring us out and remind the viewer, and here's why that matters. Here's what's at stake. I think great directors are able to be in the narrow of the emotion and be very human and follow spontaneity, but at the end of the day, they can't lose sight of that big picture, the stakes, the consequences, like the vision of the project. Jeff is an absolute master at his craft. As a filmmaker, as a forever inspiring director, it's a joy to watch. So those are just 3 things that makes Survivor a storytelling masterclass. I just watched Survivor 50 finale and felt juiced up and had to make something. So if you like this sort of thing, storytelling, filmmaking, perhaps stick around and watch more videos. Okay, that's it for now. Bye.